And here's video of people tearing concrete from planters and then slamming them on the ground to create smaller pieces to throw at officers from an overpass.
Joining us now is Benitez, the managing attorney at Coalition for Humane Immigrant Rights of Los Angeles. Thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
Can you just go ahead and give us your initial reaction to the National Guard being sent in to this situation?
Yeah, I mean, this is a clear attempt to escalate a situation that even our governor was not desirous of National Guard. We know for a fact that this administration, particularly the person in charge of this administration, has had it out for California, for Los Angeles. We saw it when they refused funding for our fires, and even Governor Newsom has asked for the troops, the National Guards, to be pulled back. Governor Newsom has also called the deployment unlawful. So it's a clear attempt to escalate, which, you know, we can only speculate what that is for. And so it's a slippery slope when all of this has been triggered by ICE raids and the situation that we're being put in by folks who are supposed to be ICE agents covering their faces. You know, we don't actually know who these people are. We're not having access to the people who are being taken. So this is a clear attempt at escalation.
Yeah, your group has been very vocal, of course, about denouncing these ICE raids. What are you saying to immigrants at this point? Of course, there's so much fear in the community, and these raids are expected to continue. What are you telling them, and what rights do they have?
You know, everyone still has the rights. We've been doing quite a bit of Know Your Rights, and I know some of our sister organizations. It's difficult at this moment. We know that all of this is being done for fear-mongering, to keep our community silent. But I would say, folks, please attend Know Your Rights trainings. Know that you are not alone. Know that this community cares and see the values that you bring. You know, we understand you pay taxes. You pay more into taxes than they will ever give you credit for. You know, I know more law-abiding citizens who are undocumented than folks who are documented. So we are here with you. We're fighting. We feel your struggle, and we will continue to fight for as long as we have breath to fight.
What do you have to say to critics who claim that your organization has gotten millions of dollars from the Biden administration, and they talk about your Democratic ties?
Well, we are a nonpartisan organization. We typically don't interfere or interject with where, you know, folks should vote or any of that nature. But it is clear that this administration, which was voted for without us interfering, you know, definitely has it out for us, particularly Latino community. You know, we are seeing folks being rounded up, regardless of status or anything, just taking, basically it's a fishing net. You know, they want to catch everyone, and what is their marker? Our race. And so when we have an administration in place that is clearly being racist against our community, against our immigrants, folk who are the foundation of how we run what we have, we're going to stand up against that. It is a by proxy of the racism and the bigotry that we are seeing, not of anything else.
What about critics who are saying that these raids are in the interest of public safety and that these undocumented people are people who have committed crimes in our community? You kind of touched on this. How are you responding to that, though? Because we keep hearing that over and over again.
Right, of course. So one thing people who continue to perpetuate that rhetoric need to understand is that this administration is saying that anyone who is here undocumented has committed a crime and a violent one. And that is not the fact. The majority of the people being caught up or detained or taken are not folks with criminal records. And so we are seeing this left and right. We saw it when they took folks to El Salvador, and we continue to see it now. There is no targeted effort to take out folks who are quote unquote criminals or violent criminals. It is an effort to take out the Latino community, and we have seen this before with Project Wetbag in the past. And this is a perpetual cycle that we are no longer standing for as a community, because it is not okay to target folks for their race, for who they are. We're seeing it through the LGBT community as well. It is not okay to target people for who they are. We used to be a country that we believed at some point that we stood because of our merits, because of what we brought to the community, because of how prideful we were working together. That is no longer a fact. We continue to work together. However, this particular administration is now targeting us because of our race, because of what we look like, because of what our name sounds like. It is no longer a targeted effort. So the rhetoric needs to be addressed.
Well, we'll continue to be having these conversations throughout the morning. Benitez, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.